Welcome to Swolefam. Now that we've gotten enough of 4th edition under our belts, we formulated our opinions on both the main game and Spearhead. Note that we're not going to bit by bit review every single aspect of 4th edition. This is going to be a general overview of how we feel about 4th edition and also a score at the end, both for the main game and for Spearhead. So getting straight into it, akin to 10th edition 40k, the overall system of 4th feels streamlined. 3rd edition was very bookkeepy and bogged down the flow of battle rounds. Grand strategies no longer exist, and battle tactics are now either universal or Grand Alliance specific. This makes balancing and scoring simpler. The double turn remains in 4th, but for the first time ever, it's not an auto take because of the added downsides to accepting it. That being said, the double turn still feels arbitrary, since nothing but a random die roll factors into its outcome. Also, taking 2 turns in a row still blows to sit through. At the end of the day, while they've improved it, it's just not good game design to make somebody sit for like 30 minutes at a time and not really participate in the game. At the very least, commands have been added for use during your opponent's turn, so you have decisions to make as well. There may be too many things to do, and I would have preferred some of these to only be available if you got double turned. Because now the game feels like Magic the Gathering, where your opponent fiddles with themselves for minutes as they decide whether to do a countercharge or cast a spell on your turn. These commands also seem highly abusable for some factions that can charge, cast a spell, and shoot during your opponent's turn, but that remains to be seen. On another positive, melee feels way better in 4th edition due to 3-inch combat range, making it so substantially more attacks get in. Also, added keywords to weapon profiles like anti-infantry +1 rend makes units feel more unique, while again streamlining the experience. Armies also have more access to replacing fallen units to make games feel less dire if you get steamrolled early. With all these positives, it must be said this is still a GW game and it's very dice dependent, and Age of Sigmar remains one of the biggest culprits. No other game like Age of Sigmar makes a shooting attack, charge, or etc. feel so all or nothing. Moments feel so lackluster or game altering that it lacks a truly rewarding play pattern. While an improvement from 3rd edition, GW ended up lying like Sigmar, and it is not the greatest fantasy miniatures game ever made, hence it gets a 6 out of 10. Now onto our quick thoughts on Spearhead. Spearhead's the smaller 500 point-ish mode with fixed lists. This game mode has all the positives of 4th edition with less of the negatives. Fast-paced action on the tiny board feels really intense and fun. It also allows for a lot of your faction's gimmicks to actually go off. When I played my Flesh Eater Courts, I had a bunch of noble deed points on my guys. I got to bring stuff back. I got the attack buff. But when playing it on the big board, a lot less of that actually happened, and it kind of seemed less interactive. The card system combines battle tactics and one-time use command. The modular nature of this makes cards you can't score for points have a secondary function, which is smart design. Minute things also, such as objectives being printed on the board, are welcome quality of life inclusions. As I mentioned before, the game has more emphasis now on bringing back models, but Spearhead really perfects it with the reinforcements keyword. Being able to bring back a fully destroyed unit once per game that has the reinforcements keyword is extremely game-changing, and I feel like not emphasized enough. Sure, usually your more chaffy units have this keyword, and they might not be the most impactful thing. However, being able to bring back this unit fixes one of GW's long-lasting issues, where you spend weeks painting your models, you spend an hour explaining to your opponent as you set up what your army does, and then you get your ass blown out turn 1, and it feels bad. With reinforcements in Spearhead, sure, you might not win the game, but you at least still feel in it to the end. If I had to think of one negative, it'd be that the mode has fixed lists, and if you don't like it, well, sorry that you're missing out. In the end, Spearhead truly is a fully realized version of 40K's Combat Patrol, and honestly feels like the main attraction of 4th edition. While I can see ourselves building kooky lists for Big Sig with some specific flavor in mind, honestly, I think I'm going to defer to Spearhead for a lot of my 4th edition gameplay. And for Spearhead, we're going to give that an 8 out of 10. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this review of 4th edition Age of Sigmar. We just want to give our quick thoughts on the game, and where you guys stand on it, let us know. As always, this is Rafiq from Swolefam, and if you want more Age of Sigmar or Warcry or Old World or any other GW game content, be sure to subscribe. And also, stay swole.